When the world believed Dara Park, affectionately known as Dara, was single and fiercely focused on her career, she was quietly cultivating a life far removed from public scrutiny. The revelation that she has been secretly married to a prominent Singaporean businessman sent shockwaves through the K-pop community. The long-circulated romance rumors with actor Jung Il-Woo? Pure speculation. Now, the world is finally meeting the real man who captured Dara's heart, and kept their love hidden for years. From her explosive rise to fame as part of 2NE1, to her reputation as Korea's sweetheart, Dara has always been a master at curating her public image. Yet behind the scenes, she's been living a different narrative, one defined by whispered overseas trips, discreet anniversaries, and a singular devotion to a partner who remained anonymous until now. Public fascination with Dara's personal life has been shaped by the K-pop industry's insistence on idol availability. A celebrity seen as single is a celebrity who sells dreams. For Dara, the pressure to remain unattached wasn't just personal, it was professional. Outsiders didn't suspect the extent of her privacy vigil until recently, when a foreign tipper leaked proof of a lavish celebration, a private ceremony in Singapore, attended by a handful of elite guests, and featuring the man she calls her husband. His name is Christopher Tan, a self-made entrepreneur whose diversified investments span fintech platforms, real estate, and hospitality. Born to a banking family in Melbourne and raised between Australia and Singapore, Tan returned to Southeast Asia in his 20s to found Breeze Capital, now valued at just over $1.2 billion. His influence in Singapore's sleek skyline is marked by his multi-million-dollar developments, from boutique hotels in Sentosa to co-working campuses in Orchard Road. Despite his wealth, Tan has avoided the limelight, preferring confidentiality and substance over paparazzi and publicity. So how did a global star and a discreet tycoon find each other, and keep their relationship under wraps for so long? It began in early 2021. Dara, fresh from solo album promotions, was invited to perform at a celebrity gala in Singapore. There, she met Tan, who was there as a major sponsor. They struck up a conversation over dinner, two people from vastly different worlds, yet sharing a quiet intensity. The spark was immediate yet unobtrusive, a mutual respect, a laugh shared over mutual disdain for pointless publicity, the comfort of shared values. They spent just one evening in public view, then began a long-distance relationship that thrived on trust, discretion, and the occasional clandestine meet-up. Over the next 2 years, Dara balanced her packed schedules, concerts in Bangkok, filming days in Seoul, with subtle trips to Singapore. Posts of scenic skylines and afternoon teas were carefully captioned to avoid attention. Her social feeds, always polished, never betrayed a destination stamp. In backstage interviews, when asked about love, she would smile enigmatically and pivot quickly, calling herself focused on music and gratitude. Fans took it as agency-trained deflection, but in truth, she was protecting the most important part of her life. Rumors swirled. In 2022, Dara participated in a variety show filmed partly in Southeast Asia. Viewers noted she seemed rushed during Singapore segments. Gossip sites glossed over these observations, instead fueling dating rumors with Jung Il-Woo, a popular actor she had worked with on a drama promotion. Every public appearance together, group photo, overlapping social media story was seized upon as evidence. Agencies both denied any romance. Dara's stylists and PR team subtly reinforced her image as single. The Jung Il-Woo speculation became an easy lie, one that diverted attention from the truth. Meanwhile, Tan watched from the sidelines, supporting her through financial backing for live concert staging, surprise fan meet expenses, even a scholarship Dara later announced to support female artists in Southeast Asia. Friends describe him as unassuming, grounded, and deeply in love. Celebrities close to Dara, though sworn to silence, were aware something serious was unfolding. But both insisted they would not be part of a media narrative crafted by tabloids. The industry's treatment of female stars revealing romantic relationships is harsh. Dara's silence had strategic career implications. In K-pop, a married or dating idol can see endorsements pulled, fan interactions decline, and news cycle sentiment dip sharply. More than most, understood this invisibly built cage, so she chose to remain private, preserving her musical freedom while also nurturing her personal one. By late 2023, their commitment deepened. An intimate engagement ceremony was held at Dan's resort in Binh, attended only by family and close friends. Photos shared among guests, captured by a lone iPad camera, were marked strictly confidential. That secrecy held until a few months ago, when an insider leaked wedding details deliberately timed to coincide with Dara's return to Korean TV. The result: instant global shock. Overnight, Dara's name trended, the story was everywhere. Fans were divided, some felt betrayed, others supportive, many simply stunned. Jung Il-Woo's name resurged. Only as part of the rumor narrative, his only connection was speculation, not substance. As the dust begins to settle from the explosive revelation, a clearer image of Dara's secret marriage begins to emerge, one filled with careful planning, deep emotional maturity, and a fierce protection of something most celebrities can only dream of, a private life that is truly theirs. Fans and critics alike now want to understand, how did this couple hide a marriage for nearly 2 years, and more importantly, why? The ceremony, as quietly elegant as one would expect from someone like Dara, was held on January 15, 2024, in the exclusive Capella Singapore resort. Venue was transformed into a minimalist dream, white orchids, handwritten vows, and only 34 attendees, mostly family members, close friends, business confidants. There were no publicists, no camera crews, no Instagram stories. The only documentation of the event exists in a custom-made leather-bound wedding photo book, locked away in a private residence in Singapore. Dara wore an ivory silk hanbok-inspired gown designed by a little-known Korean designer she discovered on Instagram. Christopher Tan, meanwhile, kept it classic, a crisp Tom Ford tuxedo, cufflinks shaped like cranes, symbolizing longevity and loyalty in both Korean and Chinese cultures. According to a source close to Dara, vows were written personally, and instead of a first dance, they chose to end the evening with a joint toast, to the life no one needed to understand, but one we built with truth. Those who knew remained loyal. 2NE1 members were aware, but deliberately avoided attending or mentioning it publicly to shield Dara. One former manager revealed anonymously, "She asked us not to lie, but not to speak, either." She said love didn't need PR. Even more intriguing is how seamlessly she maintained her career while being secretly married. After the wedding, Dara returned to Korea and filmed 2 variety shows, endorsed multiple beauty brands, and released a solo single. Interviews continued as if nothing had changed. But in hindsight, fans are combing through the footage and spotting subtle clues, a change in her ring choices, glances off camera during relationship questions, a new glow that many thought was just makeup. Center of this mystery is Christopher Tan, now being dubbed Asia's quiet billionaire. Tan, whose net worth is estimated to be $1.2 billion, built his empire on calculated risk-taking. After graduating from the University of Melbourne with a degree in applied mathematics, he worked in algorithmic trading in New York before returning to Southeast Asia. His company, Breeze Capital, started as a boutique hedge fund in 2012 and exploded after a series of successful tech acquisitions. Today, Breeze owns stakes in a regional e-wallet, a green energy logistics firm, and several luxury hospitality brands, including the one where he and Dara first met. Despite his business acumen, Tan has remained mostly anonymous, until now. Singaporean media have reported that Tan once declined a Forbes 30 Under 30 nomination, allegedly saying, "I don't need applause. I need impact." His inner circle describes him as measured, almost painfully private, but kind. Before Dara, he was never linked romantically to any celebrity. Relationship was not a PR stunt. It was a slow burn, one built on trust and shared silences more than spectacle. So why reveal the truth now? According to sources, it was Dara's decision. She didn't want to lie anymore, one close friend said. She realized that protecting her marriage didn't mean denying it. She had done her duty to the industry. Now it was time to live honestly. Decision was not without consequence. Endorsement deals are already under review. A leading skincare brand postponed her next campaign, citing creative reevaluation. Online, fan forums have been polarized. While many international fans flooded Twitter, now X, with messages of support and admiration, some local fan sites expressed deep disappointment and accused Dara of betrayal, not for marrying, but for hiding it. The Korean entertainment industry has long cultivated a culture of fantasy, especially around female idols. Idea of being available even in theory, has fueled fan culture and consumption for decades. But with high-profile stars like Hyuna, EXO's Chen, and now Dara breaking that mold, the tides appear to be shifting. Slowly, Dara's agency, G Entertainment, or more precisely, their management subsidiary D Nation, has released a carefully worded statement. Sanda Park has made personal choices with grace and integrity. We respect her privacy and celebrate her journey. She remains committed to her artistic career and her fans. Christopher Tan, for his part, has declined interviews. A brief statement from his firm read, Mr. Tan's private life is not connected to the operations or policies of Breeze Capital. We congratulate him and Miss Park on their union. With the marriage now public, one question lingers heavily in the air. What does this mean for Dara's future? Insiders suggest she is considering relocating part-time to Singapore, where she and Tan share a penthouse in Marina One Residences, valued at 24 million Singapore dollars, approximately $17.6 million US. The space features a private music studio, a rooftop Zen garden, and an art collection curated by Dara herself. Friends describe her as happier than ever, more grounded, and surprisingly relieved. Musically, she is not done. In fact, she's planning an intimate acoustic EP titled No One Knew, with lyrics reportedly inspired by her secret life. The songs, according to her producers, will explore themes of silence, loyalty, and hidden joy. Also speculation that Dara will appear in a Netflix documentary about fame and privacy in the K-pop industry. Though unconfirmed, the project is rumored to include archival footage and anonymous confessions from various idols. If true, Dara's participation would mark a bold new chapter, not just in her personal narrative, but in the evolution of Korean entertainment as a whole. For now, though, she is simply living. Sources say she and Christopher plan to travel through Tuscany this summer, visiting vineyards and taking a break from the storm. Someone who's spent 2 decades under relentless scrutiny, the chance to hold hands without hiding is nothing short of revolutionary. In one of her final interviews before the news broke, journalists asked Dara what love meant to her. She smiled, as she always does. Replied, "It's quiet. It's when you don't have to explain yourself, but someone still understands." She wasn't speaking about a theory. She was speaking about Christopher Tan. Now, the world finally